This week, I learned about using Google Maps to track family members, and I'm sharing it here with you.
Welcome to The Explainer. You know, if you're a parent today, you're navigating a challenge our parents never had to think about: digital safety. So today we're going to build a roadmap, a really practical guide to using one of the most common tools out there, location sharing, to help keep our kids safe. We'll cover it all, from the tech itself to the trust that makes it all work. So let me ask you a question. Do you know where your child is right now? I mean, that question has been around forever, but the answer has gotten so much more complicated. It used to be simple, right? Oh, they're at a friend's house. But in our super connected world, that simple question now carries all this weight, a mix of our deep, deep love and our very real worry. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've broken this journey down into 5 key parts. We're going to start with a big picture dilemma, then talk about how to track with trust, get into the legal stuff, then I'll give you a super practical how-to guide, and we'll wrap up with the ultimate goal here, their independence. The idea is to turn that anxiety into confidence. So let's dive in. Section 1, the modern parenting dilemma. You know, to really get a handle on where we're going, we first have to understand just how much has changed. The old rules of thumb for parenting, kind of symbolized by the streetlight, have been totally replaced by the new reality of the smartphone. I mean, think about it. It is a massive shift. For my parents' generation, the rule was simple. It was physical. Be home when the streetlights come on. But now, our kids carry the entire world, a global network, right in their pockets. And that creates this brand new tightrope we have to walk, this constant tension between our instinct to show care and the very real risk of that care turning into digital control. And this new reality, it calls for something we can call digital guardianship. It's really just the idea of using these new tools to keep an eye on our kids' safety. But here's the catch, right? Here's the paradox. The very same technology that's meant to protect them, well, if we're not careful, it can be the thing that shatters the trust our whole relationship is built on. And that leads us right into our second section, tracking with trust. The goal here is absolutely not surveillance. It's about building a foundation of safety. So the big question is, how do we use these incredibly powerful tools without breaking the most important thing we have with our kids? Well, the most important rule to follow is this idea of proportionality. Basically, the level of monitoring should match the actual level of risk. A better way to think about it might be this: match the tech to the trust you've built. For a 7-year-old walking to the park alone for the first time, yeah, seeing their location provides immediate safety. But for a 17-year-old driving out with friends, tracking their every move starts to feel a lot less like care and a lot more like control. The key is that as they grow up and earn that trust, the digital safety net should get looser and looser. And this whole framework really stands on 4 pillars of trust. First, open communication. This can't be a secret. You have to talk about the why. Frame it as a safety tool, not a spy tool. Second is informed consent. Especially for older kids, this really should be a conversation where they agree to it. Third, minimal intrusion. Use the least invasive method you can. Just seeing a location is very different from, say, reading their texts. And last, and this is a big one, regular review. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. Revisit the agreement every so often. As they show you they're responsible, you can start to scale it back. Okay, moving into our third section, it's not just about your family's rules, we also have to talk about actual laws. The legal world around kids' digital privacy is changing super fast, and it's really important to know where the lines are drawn. And what's interesting is that the legal trend all over the world is this kind of balancing act. On one hand, the laws pretty much everywhere recognize a parent's right to keep their kids safe. But on the other hand, they're also starting to recognize a child's growing right to privacy as they get older. You can see the differences here, right? From the EU's best interest test to courts in Australia that can actually step in if tracking goes too far. It just goes to show that society is wrestling with these exact same questions you are. Here in the US, the number you have to know is 13. That's the bright line in the sand. And it's because of a law called COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It says that any app or website has to get a parent's permission before they collect any personal data from a child under 13. It is the absolute cornerstone of kids' privacy law in the state. And things are only getting more protective. You can see here that new state laws are coming into play that really double down on this idea. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The law generally has your back when it comes to monitoring for safety, but it's building a fortress to stop companies from profiting off your child's data. All right, that brings us to Section 4, the actual how-to. we've talked about the why, the ethics, the laws. Now, let's get our hands dirty and talk about the nuts and bolts of setting this up with a tool that you probably already have on your phone right now. For most families, really, the easiest and best place to start is just Google Maps. It's free, it's already on almost every phone, Android or iPhone, and it handles location sharing in a really simple, straightforward way. No need to download some new complicated app you have to learn from scratch. Okay, let's just walk through this together. You'll want to do this on your child's phone. Step 1, just open the Google Maps app. Step 2, you're going to tap their profile picture. It's usually a little circle in the top right corner. And step 3, a menu pops up and you'll just tap on location sharing. Seriously, it's that easy to get to the main screen. So once you're in that sharing menu, you've got a couple of really key choices. Step 4, tap that blue Share Location button. Now, step 5 is crucial. You get to choose how long to share for. It could be just for an hour, or for younger kids, you might choose until you turn this off. And finally, step 6, you pick exactly who to share with. In this case, you. The really important part is that all the control stays on their device, and they will always see a little notification that their location is being shared. And that goes right back to that pillar of open communication. And this is what you see on your phone. It's not some complicated dashboard with tons of data. It is simply their little icon on a map you already know how to use. The goal here is just peace of mind delivered in the simplest, most respectful way possible. It's that quiet reassurance that just lets you breathe a little easier. And that brings us to our final and honestly our most important section, the bridge to independence. Because when it's all said and done, all of this technology, it's just a tool. It's a means to an end. It's not the end itself. The ultimate goal here isn't to build some kind of digital cage around our kids. It's to build a bridge. This technology, when you use it the right way, is just a temporary support structure. It's a safety net that gives our kids the confidence to walk out into the world while they're still learning how to find their own way. And here it is. This is the ultimate measure of your success as a digital guardian. The day this technology is no longer needed. The goal isn't to track them into adulthood. It's to use this tool to build the trust and the real-world skills that make tracking totally obsolete. Success is raising a confident, independent human who doesn't need a pin on your map anymore. So as you leave this explainer, this is the one question to really carry with you. Is the technology you're using fostering trust, or is it fostering control? Your answer to that question, day in and day out, that's what's going to determine whether you're just tracking a location or if you're truly guiding your child toward a safe and independent future.
Did you learn something new and exciting? Share it here. I want to know more about it.